readjust seating. There we go.
It's music time playing in the background. Oh yeah, it's Nerdz2Men and we're back again. Oh yeah, Paul and I. Paul programs, LOWKEY geek in your face.
What?
What's up, guys? We
Oh my
are
gosh.
back. It's another Wednesday, another Nerdz2Men podcast. This time on the LOWKEY Geek Twitch channel. As we do every week, we switch things up. You know, one week it's Paul from Paul Programs. The other week it's me, LOWKEY Geek. So this is my first show since my 12-hour long stream awareness and charity marathon on Sunday. Took me a couple of days to recover, but I'm finally back, and I'm feeling almost there. So yeah, welcome to another great show we have planned for you guys, hopefully. And again, if you're joining, please don't hesitate to join us in chat. You know, throw any questions you have, any comments. Always happy to discuss things with you guys, and always down to welcome new members to the community. If anything, community is where it's at, and that's what we need right now. And we all need to unite as one. So that being said, how's it going, Paul?
It's going. Weeks seem long these days.
Well, it's a little different for you because now you're actually working. So
yeah, I get to appreciate Friday being Fridays again. So that's the fun part.
that is true. That is true. That is something that I feel like I kind of miss. Just like how we always talk about missing, summer, summer months and all that from school. There was always something special about having that Friday and knowing that it's Friday, or even like Wednesday. Like, oh, it's hump day and all that stuff like that. And, so definitely miss all that stuff. But how's work been going overall?
It's been going good. I mean, I've starting to get a good flow of things. I'm
Good.
getting pulled in all sorts of directions, which isn't a bad thing.
Mhm.
But I mean, it's helping me build up some more skill sets to spread that knowledge on my YouTube channel.
Nice.
So, and then on top of that, it's just been live streaming, things like that. Um, like yesterday, I live streamed building all your guys' sprites and stuff for D&D.
Yeah, dude, those
No,
came out really great. Like, I
yeah,
was
man.
so happy because I wasn't able to see it yesterday because I was just zoned out and just not all there. But when I opened up the email today and I saw the attachment, I was like, wow, these came out really nice.
Yeah, man. RPG Maker does a great job in terms of like building out sprites and things like that.
Hmm.
It's like it just involved a lot of like the artistry of like getting the colors right and
Right.
so on and so forth. I mean, it's still pretty on rails, but like working the menu with actually a lot less information than I realized. It's like I'm gonna need more information than just this.
Yeah, but that's not your first time fiddling around in RPG Maker, right?
No.
I remember
I've
you
used
and I talked about
RPG.
it before.
Yeah, I've used it quite a bit. I mean, I've had plans to use some of the assets from it until I
Mm.
read into the legal documents that say you can't legally use all the assets from it, and I'm just like,
Mm.
it's like, yeah, if you're
Yeah.
gonna make a game using RPG Maker assets, you have to unfortunately use RPG Maker.
Right.
Not unfortunately, but it's like it would have been nice to be able to take those sprites and do other things with them.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But I get it too. It's like it is what it is. It's look, it's their business. It's their assets. They put the work into it, so they
Right.
should be the ones really benefiting from it. But fair is fair. I mean, I don't mind. It's still a great tool set anyway, because when I do make original sprites, eventually I could always put them in there and so on and so
Mhm.
forth. But yeah, spent last night just building you guys some sprites for your use in the Roll20.
Nice. Yeah, what I'm gonna do is that since you provided like the palettes of all the different animations, I'm gonna
Yeah.
create like an animated GIF of like my dude doing some stuff, whatever it is. I don't
Yeah.
know if we can actually upload those in Roll20.
If
It's
you
something to test out. Like we
if you
could try
set
to
it
test
as
it
a
out.
GIF, it should in theory work
Right.
because it's just a GIF on a website, and
Right.
there's nothing preventing it from animating.
Yeah. So, I
So
mean, I'll give it a shot and I'll see. I've been making a lot of animated GIFs lately, as overlays for
oh
like my
no.
streams and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, yeah, no, no, nothing,
Also,
nothing too crazy.
oh no, it's just like you learn how to make GIFs.
Oh, please. I've made GIFs way back in the day. It's just I haven't done it in a while. But
Goodness.
Photoshop does make it so much easier to do it now, which is
Yeah,
interesting.
you
So,
just layer them in, and
yeah.
then it'll just automatically do it. All right, well, let me host. Why are you not letting me host?
What's going on?
I don't know. Twitch is being Twitch today.
Well, Twitch apparently made some updates, as we found out. So
Seriously, I
if
mean,
yeah,
it looks prettier now, but functionality wise, survey's still out on that one.
yeah, yeah. If you're a streamer like we are,
Oh, it is. It
take a look
is
at your
hosting.
profile page because they've made a lot of updates to it. If you weren't aware of it.
Oh my gosh, this is so weird. Yeah, so it is hosting. It's just it was weird.
Oh,
But whatever, man. Twitch do Twitch things. I'm not even gonna get into it.
Twitch be twitching.
Twitch be twitching. All right, it is hosting. That's fine. Even if it wasn't, it's still fine because they'll get here eventually.
That's all right. We're all fine. We're all fine here. How are you? How are you guys? I hope you guys are
Fine.
doing well. It's Wednesday, so hope your weeks are going well. And kind of like what we like to do on every start of the show, I like to talk, about what we've been up to, what we've been playing, what we've been
Yep.
watching. I know Paul and I we played D&D on Saturday night with our other
Okay.
buds, and we had a lot of fun. Next session is this Saturday, right? Saturday?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Saturday 9. I think that's pretty much what we're locked into. Everyone's still free. I'm
right.
surprised like Angelo's still talking about doing things because
Hmm.
on Saturdays, because it's kind of weird. Since New York is still in this thing called lockdown.
Well, we're in phase one apparently, and in Long Island, they just about to start their phase two. So, it sounds like things are a little bit better on the island.
Phase one, 10% of people are allowed in 1% of places. Phase
Yeah,
one.
yeah. I mean, it's crazy all around. I mean, you have California with their movie theaters set to open again on Friday. I just saw an article before we went live that Hollywood production sets are now given the okay to ramp up again this week. I don't know. I think it's fine to set those standards,
Yeah.
but are people ready? And I feel like it's a mixed bag. So
Yeah. I mean, also, I feel like it has to be a smoother rollout. I feel
mhm,
like with certain things, people are just throwing a little too much caution to the wind.
yeah,
Like here in Austin, things are actually starting to tick upward because people decided on Memorial Day to go party hardy,
yeah,
and it's now catching up with everybody.
yeah. I mean, that's something that we've been seeing from other states as well, and I think the big fear now is that because of all the protests, again, nothing wrong with the protests. I'm so happy that a lot of
Yeah.
people went out there. But unfortunately, there were a lot of people who went out there who weren't being careful. And now there's that fear that things are going to rise again because of all that.
Oh yeah. It's gonna happen. Unfortunately, it's a numbers game, and unfortunately, the numbers just don't play out well.
Yeah.
Um, but again, there's nothing wrong with the protesting. It's just sad that like because the protesting needed to happen.
Yeah.
It's just sad that now is the time it needed to happen. It's like, why couldn't this happen? I don't know. December
When we're not in a pandemic
20 like
situation.
19 18.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you saw the photos, but I think it was on Sunday or Saturday. Um, Hollywood Boulevard was like wall to wall with people, blocks and blocks on end. And then I think also over the weekend in Times Square, it was a similar situation here in New York.
I mean, it's always like that in Times. I've yet
Yeah,
to see Times Square not like that,
yeah,
virus or not.
yeah. It's just again, it's. I just hope everyone tried their best to stay safe. Hopefully, nothing will ever happen, but I guess we
Yeah.
won't know until we see the numbers, right? So,
Yeah. I mean, it's really the hospitalization numbers. That's a scarier number, honestly.
yeah,
Like, look, um, testing positive for it means honestly nothing.
hmm,
It's really about the hospitalizations. That's the bigger concern.
yeah,
Hospitalizations and deaths. If those are a high percentage among the testing positive, that's when we have to start worrying again.
right,
But
right.
So far, at least hospitalizations are staying somewhat stable still, but
Hmm.
we'll see. I
We'll
mean,
see. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see. But yeah, what else have you been up to outside of the D&D on Saturday?
so again, I've been on my stream. I've been playing Mega Man Legends just to keep it nice and chill. We
Hmm.
need something lighthearted and comedic to enjoy. So I've been avoiding like heavy year themed games like Mass
Hmm.
Effect and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, I've been playing Pokemon to get ready for the DLC that's coming out soon,
Okay. Hmm.
which is next week. Well, it's because I was trying to capture two more Pokemon that I didn't have versions that have this super special form that becomes big and looks different.
Hmm.
They're called Gigantamax forms. Pokemon just be making forms for no reason now at this point. I mean, the only thing I think they've done that's cool is what they call regional variants, where they take older Pokemon and then they customize them, change their typing and abilities for a different region.
Okay.
So you may have like a Pikachu a Raichu who's like lightning only in Kanto in most regions, but then when you go to like the Hawaii region,
Hmm.
it also gets the psychic typing and it floats on its tail like it's a surfboard.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So I mean, so getting ready for Pokemon fun with that, and then last thing I've been doing is plotting for when I start DMing. I'm already started gathering resources and details for our next set of adventures, and yeah.
Oh, okay. All
So I
right.
think I'm gonna run us through the first two chapters in the book, and then we'll decide from there where we go. Um, the first one's gonna be kind of like another lower level adventure, which is fine. But
Hmm.
the second one is the higher level one. So just so we get our feet wet one more time,
Yeah.
because I'm hoping I was hoping this introduction would be a little smoother to D&D. Irving's roles with these goblin archers decided otherwise,
Hey.
and our perception roles also decided otherwise. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't even that it was hard, it's just that roles were just not on our side that day,
No.
man.
No. And it sucks too because like we are beholden to the computer roles, right? So at least if it's our own roles, we could say like, okay, this is my own fault. Like I messed this
Exactly,
up.
yeah.
But the fact that we kept freaking missing perception rolls, it was just like it was three of
And
us in a row.
climb rolls.
Yeah.
We miss perception, then we followed by missing climb, and then I finally make the climb to make a dex roll and fall right back down. I'm just like,
It's
this
crazy.
isn't for us.
Yeah. Yeah, and like what Soundwave says right now, like those hard hitting enemies. Freaking goblin archers from like how many squares away would they were? They were like 5 squares
They were
away.
at least like 40 feet away, which is about eight, like 6 to 8 squares.
Six to eight squares.
They were hitting some distances, but
Yeah.
they were like shooting behind the back through the legs, like
Yeah.
whoosh,
Yeah.
woof.
They were doing some crazy, crazy rolls, but hey, at least it kept us on our toes and it kept us like, strategizing
Yeah.
in a quick moment. So
Look, the big thing is it was really Irving's rolls. That's really what's getting us, man. This dude had some loaded digital dice. And for a while, you did too, until a certain VP planted himself right next to you. And then it happened. The siphon. All of a sudden,
yeah.
he's hitting all his rolls.
Yep.
You can't hit with your primary hand.
Yeah, the powers transferred over, and I wasn't very happy about that. But yeah, but hey, I was riding those big rolls for a while, and
Yeah, man. You're
it did
rolling
help
like
out.
23s like it's coming out, going out of sounds like, brimp,
Yeah,
brimp.
but if I'm just trying to see if there's an enemy in front of me, I can't seem to roll that.
It's like, nah, it looks all clear to me. I'm
Like
pretty
I don't
sure
see
there's nothing
anybody.
there.
I don't see anybody. It's like breathing on my neck. Nope, no one's there. Yeah, that was a lot of fun though. I can't wait for the
Oh,
next round.
yeah, man. Can't wait for us to finish up this cave and get to town, because definitely need to spend some money on certain things. Well, that, and I can't wait to hit level 2, because level 2, my character starts hitting like the freaking gates, because I unlock spell casting and fighting style.
Oh, nice, nice, very nice.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting, because then I can start casting bless myself.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've already looked at how far my character goes up to 5 levels, so I'm already ready for the work that goes into that. But
Right.
and then no, another cool thing is they actually announced on D&D Beyond they're actually working with Legends of Runeterra, which is from Riot Games, who they
Oh
do
yeah,
Valorant.
yeah. Yeah.
So they actually are doing their first paired scenario on D&D Beyond,
Oh, interesting.
and it's based in like the world of Runeterra, but like you have to make your own characters from scratch too.
Hmm.
They start at level 3, but this might not be a bad like scenario to run just to run in between things.
Hmm. Cool.
So, but it's free and it's always free on D&D Beyond. So that could be
Right.
some cool stuff right there.
Nice.
So yeah, DM planning. That's the other bit of what I've been up to.
Nice. Nice. As for myself, well, obviously, most of you know I had my huge 12-hour stream on Sunday.
He's a
So
DJ hero.
I gotta tell
Oh,
you,
mm, mm.
ending the stream playing DJ Hero, which I haven't played in ages, was a lot of fun. And it actually got me really pumped up too, that I couldn't sleep right away afterwards. So I was up to like a good past
Yo,
like
man,
5:30.
seeing you play that, like, I'm really fighting hard not to bust out like Rock Band. And like, I have the perfect setup too for playing the
Yeah.
drums.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. And it kind of made me thinking, I was like, hey,
Rock
why
Band
don't
nights? What?
well, we could do that. And I was thinking like once a month, I may hold just like a DJ dance party, maybe a Friday night or something like that. Even though I'm not a DJ, I just play one on TV. But it looks like I'm a DJ, and the mixes that they have are really great mixes too. So
Nice.
I could customize my playlist, and then I'm thinking of trying to pick up DJ Hero 2 because there's a freestyle mode
Oh,
in there
nice.
and it allows you to be more free with a lot of the mixes and
Huh.
everything. So that could be something that'll be
Ooh.
fun.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and if you ever need to take like a small hour interlude, I could always pick up the Rock
There
Band,
you
and
go.
because my Rock Band library is just silly, ridiculously big. Because I have from Rock Band 1 all the way upward.
Okay.
Though I still have to unlock Rock Band 3. Rock Band 3 is the only one I haven't unlocked yet, but I'm gonna get those tracks in there, man.
Nice.
Have like 5,000 songs on Rock Band. Because when Rock Band 4 came out, I picked up Rock Band 4 so I can
Hmm.
transfer all my stuff to the PS4.
Right.
Actually, I got Rock Band 4 with the full kit, guitar, drums, and mic. Threw
Yeah.
that in storage, never opened it. Then I realized one day I want to play Rock Band, so I just got one with the guitar and the game only.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Yeah, a
yeah,
lot of
man.
a lot of my Rock Band gear is in storage right now. I mean, there was a moment I was so into it, like really, especially when the Beatles
Oh,
came
yeah.
out and Green Day
Green
one
Day,
came
all that
out.
stuff.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I was so into that.
Oh, yeah, I got
And
my
then
Green Day
it
one in my PS4.
And then it just it like with a lot of other games, if you overplay it, it just ran its
Yeah.
course for the moment. So I put it in storage, and that's why it was nice to bring out DJ Hero again
Yeah.
because it was just nice to relive all that. I guess that's my new DJ name, DJ LOWKEY. Big shout out to Soundwave on the chat right there.
Yeah, man.
But
But
other than that, after my 2 days of recouping and everything, I was able to watch. There's a new ESPN 30 for 30 about Bruce Lee
oh
called Be Water.
yes, I saw that advertised. I
Really,
gotta
I
check that
heavily
out.
recommend it. It's so well done.
Nice. So
And
Bruce Lee fan.
again,
That's
it's one of those perfect timing situations because it really talks about how Bruce Lee was fighting racism within the Asian community and representation in Hollywood and
yeah.
all that. So it's like under 2 hours, but it
Nice.
didn't
Yeah.
feel it. And they really had a lot of interviews with like wife, even an ex-girlfriend,
Wow.
his family members, his former actors that he acted with in
Yeah.
Hong Kong and here in America. And they just basically talk about his life and his philosophies and how he got a lot of people into learning kung fu and everything like that, and how
Yeah, man.
and then his daughter was on there too, and she was talking a lot about like him, and they did cover some stuff with Brandon Lee
Oh,
too and everything. So
I always forget about the fact he has a daughter because
yeah,
like you only remember the bad luck on the male side.
I know. Yeah, but she's doing well, and she had a lot of great memories of her dad. He was
Nice.
a big letter writer, so she saved
Oh,
a lot of
nice.
his letters that he like send her. when he
Very
was
nice.
traveling back and forth and all that between Hong Kong and the US. Also, I didn't know, maybe I was just ignorant or I just didn't realize he was born in San Francisco. I had no idea. Like, yeah, he was born in San
Oh wow.
Francisco, and then at the age of, no, not even the age of, 3 months after he was born, him and his family moved to Hong Kong. So I think that's why a lot of people
Wow.
originally think he is from Hong Kong specifically, but no, he was born in San Fran.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's some new facts right there.
yeah. So he is actually Asian American, which a lot of people never even realize. So,
The more you know.
so yeah, yeah. So definitely highly recommended. I should find a way to kind of like,
Every once in a while,
have
just
a
have it like.
cue to just push that like. Yeah, yeah, Soundwave. Bruce Lee is legit American. He was born in San Francisco,
Wow.
uh, and then 3 months later, him and his family moved to Hong Kong um, to kind of do some stuff that they needed to do out there. So, but yeah, like I said, highly recommend the documentary. Very, very good watch there. Even if you're not a Bruce Lee fan, it's just a good documentary in general because again, it talks about the struggles of racism in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Even, we knew it was there all the time, even back then. But now, from a point of view of an
Yeah.
Asian trying to fight that stereotype and the racial profiling that they did
Yeah,
back in
man.
Hollywood back. So yeah, so yeah, those were kind of like the highlights from the weekend
Nice.
and the last couple of days. So that and a lot of sleep.
Yeah, that was my Monday night. It's just like Monday, I think like by 9 or 10, I was just done.
Yeah.
Like, I had nothing left in the tank. I'm just like, and brr.
Shutdown mode,
Exactly.
right?
It's like Autobot shut down. It's like Optimus in every show and movie where he dies. Oh,
Oh,
what happened? All of them.
oh,
What?
or Optimus. I have a feeling we're gonna hear about it from Soundwave on that
I
one.
mean, he'd be happy about it because he's a Soundwave fan. It's like, yeah, like he
That
deserves.
is true. That is true.
It's just,
That is true. Um. Oh, Soundwave is giving you some shout outs
oh,
there for the support.
oh,
So
thank you. No problem,
yeah,
man. For a
yeah,
good cause.
yeah.
You
Like I
bring
said, like
people.
it was great having you there. It was great having some of our buds
Yeah,
join us,
man.
especially Soundwave too here in the chat. I'm very grateful for everyone, helping me spread the awareness and all that, and just having fun. I mean, I
Exactly.
think the highlight was the
Oh
trivia. The
yeah,
trivia was so much
that
fun.
was that.
Yeah,
That definitely we may need to turn Friday into like a games night, so this way one we can save streaming resources. It's
I know, right? Yeah, because yeah, like I've seen that game played before online. Um, I've never played it
yeah,
myself, and so actually playing it with you guys, and we had some like people, some viewers join in with
yeah,
us too, and it was just so much fun. It was like a lot of
yeah.
fun.
Because I always
So,
wondered how one person could own the game and everyone's playing together somehow. Because I never really looked
hmm,
into it that
yeah,
deeply, and then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, that's how this is actually really cool.
yeah,
So I mean, I definitely like super enjoyed it.
yeah, and it's great too because even if the game only has a max of 8 people, the audience can still join
Yeah.
in and play along, and they could even affect the outcome if the people who are actually playing are doing worse than the audience. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
there's a
we
few times where we could have used some of that.
for sure, yeah. But yeah, that's something we're definitely going to do again. Try to make it a little bit more reoccurring thing, especially since I do have the Jackbox Party Pack 5 and 6.
Nice.
So there's a lot of different games in
Yeah.
there that we can play and
I
fool
know I
around with.
picked up Drawful a while ago, Drawful 2, because they had that like on sale for
Yeah.
the Switch for like $1, and I was just like, what? This
Hmm.
doesn't make sense. I'm gonna just get this because I have like Nintendo like gold points and stuff like that. So
Right, right, right. Yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
So super
Cool.
fun. All right, we should.
Yeah. So yeah, moving on to our usual
Agenda.
slur of gaming news, and this week is has been pretty busy.
It's been
So
big so far, honestly. And
yeah.
actually, let me just fill that in real quick because I mean that I was gonna talk about it anyway. I talked about it yesterday, but I'll talk about it again. So first
Sure.
off, while you're definitely disenfranchising me, I'm like in a more slower groove with it. Like
Uh-huh.
I put it on to see Saturday's event because I thought it'd be cool to see. And then it took like
Hmm.
5 hours. Like I gotta go buy groceries, and that's just way more important than waiting for like a ship to blow the hell up.
Although it was kind of cool. I didn't
I
go,
watched
but
the
I watched
yeah,
the
I watched the
video.
replay later. It's
Yeah.
like it would have been cool
Yeah.
to see if it didn't take like 50 days.
Right, right, right. And in case you don't know what we're talking about, obviously we're talking about
Yeah.
Destiny 2,
So yeah,
their big event over the weekend.
big live event. They were trying to emulate like what Fortnite does. I mean, I think it's a
Hmm.
good first effort.
Hmm.
They do need to learn how to speed things up if they're gonna do more of these.
Hmm.
It taking like an hour and a half from when it was supposed to start. So little too long, little too long, little too long.
So so again, like I have been out of it as
Yeah.
you, and as I've made known to a
It's-
lot of people, especially on these streams and everything. But there was a set time for this
yeah.
event to start, and it was delayed. It was late.
So I don't think it was late as much as they used the set time as a queuing half hour,
Oh,
and then
okay.
things started happening. But it's just like with the queuing half
Okay.
hour, and then the event itself to
Hmm.
fully run through took an hour. They didn't
Okay.
tell people what the time frame was. That was the bigger problem.
Gotcha.
So like
Gotcha.
it just took way too long in my opinion. Even watching the replay,
Hmm.
I'm just like, all right, 2x mode on YouTube, scrub through
Yeah.
that.
Well, IGN even had it on like 2x mode
Yeah,
to
I
go
put
through,
2x on there,
and
2x. I was like, I
yeah, it's funny too, because like VP, one of our buds said like it would have been really funny if, let's say, oh, it's taking so long, and I'm just gonna go and mess around with my inventory in the vault,
it
and then you could
happened.
have just easily missed it. It could have
I mean,
happened, right? It really could
at
have
least it
happened.
happened in phases. I think half an hour would have been the sweet spot if they were gonna run it.
Yeah.
But outside of that though, like they had their big reveal for the fall DLC.
Yep.
But on top of that, they revealed a lot of other things. So first thing is the
Hmm.
new season started. They released a dungeon that's free to everybody, even if you have the season pass or not, which makes me even more upset about having the season pass because it's like, oh, another free thing that I don't really care about because I paid for what
Hmm.
reason again? But that's a different story.
Right.
But like they unveiled like this. Before that though, they revealed the new DLC. They bring back the character of the stranger.
Hmm.
Um, if it's a spoiler, oops. I mean, it's all over the internet anyway, and it's not really that much a spoiler. They just show her in the trailer.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just a stranger and two other characters who are already in the game. They show them on a new planet. And enemies fighting. The cool part though was that there's a new element type,
Hmm.
which represents like the darkness,
Yeah. Is it referred to as static or something like that?
stasis. Yeah.
Stasis. Yeah, that's it.
So I mean
Okay.
that I'm excited about because it's like it changes the rock paper scissor kind of mechanics a little bit further, which means you have
Hmm.
to really be thoughtful about your team layouts. Because think about it, with three people, you can always make sure every element is essentially covered. With
Hmm.
four, you now have to rethink how your element structure is on your team because
Okay. So you need more of a
you're always
balance.
going to be lacking in something. So you have to figure
Gotcha.
out like how do you at least shore up in a way that flows well between everybody. Because again, you could
Hmm.
just have one person have two of the others type in one other, and then class types to compensate.
Right.
So that strategy aspect's kind of interesting to me. Again, the one of the cool parts is which it's a mix of cool and kind of is they're going to be taking older content from Destiny 2 and throwing it into a vault of sorts and rotating it in and out throughout moving forward.
Right.
Which I'm curious about which content are they talking about? Because if it's like strikes and Crucible and things like that, that's fine. If it's like raids, which there's not really that many of, which are the big fun activities or story
Hmm.
stuff, that's not as cool. Also, I don't think they
Yeah.
can do story stuff because at the end of the day, story still has to happen for people who are starting the game because it's just and it's part of the DLCs and stuff anyway.
Hmm.
But with stuff being rotated out, that also means stuff's going to be rotated in. And for us who really enjoy Destiny 1 a lot, D1 content's coming to D2, which
Right.
includes Vault of Glass, which if people said let's run Vault of Glass this Thursday, I'd jump on easily for that. For that one, easily.
Right.
Some of the errors are coming back, like the Cosmodrome, which I'm cool with because that was one of my favorite just hangout spots, just hang out, shoot things.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that in the Cosmodrome, not worrying about like doing anything serious, just sitting there shooting things, doing public
Hmm.
events. So that kind of stuff is fun and cool. And it'll be cool to see some of the older raids kind of come back in the rotation and stuff like that. So I guess raids might be in rotation, but I wonder if it's going to be a week by week basis or a month by month basis. I don't know.
Mm.
I rather see strikes and crucible maps and stuff go out of rotation more often than raids, honestly. I feel like raids should always be available. But
Right.
it's cool that D1 content's coming back in the style. I wonder if that also means D1 story elements are going to be added for those who are just starting, because there's a huge chunk
Mm.
of things people just never experience.
Sure.
But who knows? And on top of that, they also announced the DLCs for 2021 and 2022. So
Oh,
they've
okay.
decided to fully commit to Destiny 2 for the next 3 years at least.
Yeah, I did read something where they said that instead of focusing on a next Destiny, they're
Yeah,
just going to put a lot of focus on current Destiny
exactly.
2 because of all they were coming across a lot of bugs and a lot of issues and
Yeah,
all that. So they kind of want to make Destiny 2 kind of like the ultimate experience that they always wanted it
yeah,
to be, but never were able to do.
yeah.
So I think that's kind of
I think
interesting.
what'll help with that is the jump to next gen as well too.
Yeah.
Um, Also, if you've bought any Destiny DLCs, getting Destiny 2 with all your stuff on next generation, free.
Nice, nice. Including the game,
Yeah,
right? I believe the game is
yeah.
transferable into
Game's
next gen,
transferable.
so
So the base game they made free to
that's
play, but
perfect.
all your DLC
Yeah.
up till like whatever you paid for is on there as
Hmm.
well too. So
Yeah, that's perfect.
yeah,
That's
like
perfect.
that gets me a lot more excited. It's just like, okay,
Yeah.
now you make me a little more tempted to dip my foot in the water whenever I'm in the mood, which who
Yeah.
knows when that'll be.
No, I really love that aspect because again, and we talked about this in our other podcast, I think
Yeah.
last week, where it's like I wouldn't want them to force me to have to pay again, even if it's let's just say $20 and all that. Like, especially for someone like me
Hmm.
who's already kind of
Oh yeah.
soured on the whole experience, knowing that if I do pick up a next gen
Mm,
console, that I can just bring that game with me
yeah,
already. All right, I like that. That's a nice little gift for like all the dedication I put,
exactly.
into this
And I'm
one game.
definitely curious to see what optimizations they have in plan. I have a feeling the next gen versions are gonna, if they don't have crossplay with the previous generation versions, I have a
Hmm.
feeling that they're gonna be optimized in ways that make it perform much better. I think that's what they're really looking forward to, is like using the next
Yeah.
gen as a way to start squashing bugs, because
Hmm.
by probably 2021 or 2022's DLC, either by 2022, like that's it, that's the end of Destiny, or there'll be planning for Destiny 3 on the
Right.
next gen. So either
Hmm.
way, they're going to be starting from a much cleaner base.
Hmm.
The hope is that they still keep a lot of, at least the weapons, even if you abandon everything outside of people's gear, you at
Hmm.
least owe it to your players to keep their gear, their collections, all that, because that's already in the database. That's just
Right.
database
Right.
stuff. You can, whatever stats you do on for the next game, if they do, they can handle then. But so
Yeah.
a lot of time,
Yeah,
yeah,
and yeah, like Soundwave mentioned here, potential cross-platform play, PlayStation and Xbox.
yeah,
I did read that part too. I think for now they might be focusing on multiplayer in the
yeah.
beginning for that, which I think is still great. I think that's
I
fantastic.
like that over nothing, honestly.
Yeah, we've been wanting that actually for
Yeah.
a while
I feel
now.
like
You know?
competitive is better for that anyway. It's hard, again, it's harder with raids because the separation of party systems and stuff, and then you have to use Destiny's in-game chat or Discord.
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
understand why like they don't want for raids and stuff, and eventually it'll get there, but
Yeah.
PvP makes more sense because you don't have as much like separation and things like that. I mean, it'd be cool to play against Xbox players or even jump together and play with someone like my Xbox friends and stuff like that. Which makes me
Mm-hmm.
wonder then, are they planning a universal friend system that actually
Mm,
looks across all your accounts that you've merged together and just merges them into a single
right.
friends list?
Right. Kind of like what we saw that Fantasy Star Online
Yeah,
does.
exactly.
Yeah, they have like a universal ESO2 friend list,
Exactly.
right? So they should do like a Destiny friend list where you could connect all your friends no matter what platform they're playing on, even PC. Because there are a lot of people, you've even dabbled in it playing on Destiny on the PC.
Yeah. I
So
mean, it
yeah,
looks amazing on the PC, except when I try to stream it.
it
Once I
does.
try to stream it, then like for you guys it looks horrible, but for me it looks amazing still.
The
Because all of a sudden
output just wasn't there,
you guys had to be there to really experience it. Like,
right?
no, because I look down in my OBS and it's just like, and 1 frame a second. It's like, okay, well, we're gonna stop this immediately. And so
Right.
it looks great, guys. You'll never know. Well, hopefully with my current graphics card, it'll be well, no, because my current graphics card just means I can handle more frames per second, which definitely is not a good thing for Destiny.
Not for
Not for
streaming,
stream.
really.
I have to figure out what the right settings are to stream Destiny, but yeah, putting it in max settings, it was just silly. Like honestly, that's part of the thing that drove me to finally upgrade to a 4K TV as well too. It's just like
Okay.
seeing on
Yeah.
the PC running at 1080p, but it was like 100. This monitor is 144 like refresh rate. I'm just like, this is silly. This makes no sense. Why is this so crisp and good? It's just like, all right, well, it's time to make the jump on the PlayStation 4 side because I have a PS4 Pro. So,
Right. Right.
but speaking of
Cool.
PlayStations,
Yes.
great time to segue into tomorrow is D-Day.
Yeah. Yeah. It
PS5
was delayed
reveal.
for a little bit, but we finally get the PS5 game revealed tomorrow.
Yeah,
So I'm really excited to check it
so
out. I
I.
want to see what they have to offer
Yeah,
and what they want to like surprise us
yeah.
with. What are you in particularly looking forward to for
I
tomorrow?
want to see what the box looks like at this point. Though there's starting to be weird leaks, which we'll get into that later on because I do want to talk about leak season, which is now here because it's E3.
Hmm.
Well, was we'll get to that topic too. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited to see one the box itself, and then two, I want to see what Sony's first party studios have been working on,
Hmm.
and then if they really want to surprise me, you show me either Final Fantasy Remake Episode 2 or some interesting stuff from Square Enix. Let's see what Atlas is working on. Let's see like what some of
Hmm.
the big players who have been kind of silent on what their other stuff is.
Knack 3, as Soundwave says. I would be so happy if that was
I
true.
mean, I enjoyed
I
Knack
think
1, but I actually didn't get to play Knack 2, but no. Now if you told me Gravity Rush 3, it's like, yeah.
now, are we gonna get a surprise? Because like I've always mentioned this before, anytime there is a new system reveal, there's always a racing game.
Richo Ressa!
Are we gonna Ridge Racer would be fantastic, actually.
It's
But
not gonna be.
do you think we're gonna get thrown a curveball and get another Midnight Club?
No, we're gonna get Gran Turismo. That's
Yeah.
unfortunately which part of leak season is GT7 is most likely the expected.
Hmm.
Leak season has made it clear GT7 is most likely what we're getting.
Yeah.
Um Logos have leaked for it, patents, all sorts. I mean,
Hmm.
I would love for us to get even like a new Burnout. You give me a
Yeah.
new Burnout that
Or like a Need for Speed or
uh,
something like that.
problem I
I kind of like the Hot Pursuit mode,
so
so
the problem I have with Need for Speed is outside of Hot Pursuit mode, it just doesn't have that fun factor that I get when I throw
right,
Burnout on, especially Burnout Paradise
right,
or any Burnout like 3 or earlier.
yeah,
It's something about like the pure fun that you can just also dismantle cars. Problem I have with Need for
yeah,
Speed is once they got licensed cars, it got very like limited on what you can actually do damage wise to it because
mm,
car dealers don't want damaging the
yeah.
cars in the
Oh,
fantasy
yeah, we know.
world. It's like,
Yeah,
what if people think that's faulty design on our cars? It's like, really? That's that's what you're concerned about. Your cars are already faulty, Ford. No one's looking at like crashes in Need for Speed to say this is the reason I'm not buying a Ford. There's millions of
Hmm.
other reasons.
Right. Well, that's why Ridge Racer is a
Yeah.
great game for that, because you do have that freedom, and Burnout too. We know Burnout Paradise Remastered is coming out on the Switch next month.
Yeah, man. Gotta buy that game a fourth
So
time or something like that.
I know. Me too. I was going through my library and I totally even forgot that I had the hit on the
Yeah.
PS4 at one point, because we were all playing it, I think, at
Yeah.
one point.
Because we got it like the
Yeah.
first weekend or two, and we played it like 2 weekends straight, and it was like, this is great. And then we went back to Destiny.
Soundwave chimed in and said Criterion Games released last Need for Speed Heat DLC a week or two ago. This officially clears them potentially for full resources on the new upcoming project.
Yeah.
So
So
we'll
there you
see.
have it.
We'll see.
I mean,
We'll
I
see.
definitely would be excited, but there's so many possibilities tomorrow. I think the most important thing is later in the summer, they should focus on independent, smaller developers and what they're doing for the
Hmm.
console. I really
Hmm.
want to see what the big boys that Sony, like their first party has been
Yeah.
very silent. Their
Yeah.
first party has a lot of studios that should be working on things that we haven't heard about. And then everyone forgets they bought Insomniac this year.
Yeah.
They
Hmm.
have Spider-Man 2 easily in the works.
Right.
We've seen Spider-Man running on a PS5. Well, we haven't seen. We've heard word from people who have seen,
Who have seen it? Yeah.
including
Hmm.
Mark Cerny himself on a stage talking about tech specs.
Right.
That like you can go from all the way across Manhattan using like quick travel in 8 seconds in a
Hmm.
game that's not even 100% optimized for the PS5. So that makes me think it's like Spider-Man 2 is just going to be that much silly because it may not be just Manhattan. We can have Spider-Man in Queens now.
Finally go to Queens. Finally go to
Yeah.
Brooklyn. He's not gonna go to Staten Island because no one ever really goes
Yeah,
to
and
Staten
Bronx is a
Island.
little
But
too
yeah,
dangerous for his taste. I mean, it's
yeah. But there's always trouble in the Bronx, so he might have to go there
he'd be
eventually.
better not. I mean, it's just safer.
Yeah.
Look,
If he goes to Staten Island, he's gonna probably meet up with Pete Davidson or something like that and hang out for a bit.
into Judge Apatow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which that new movie is coming out this week. It looks good. I might check
I
it
mean,
out.
I've heard mixed things about it. I mean, it's free on Netflix, I believe. So I
It
have
is. Yeah.
nothing
Yeah.
worse to watch. Well, I
Hmm.
mean, I have nothing. I mean, I have plenty better to watch. There's plenty better. So, I
Oh, I'm
mean, I
sure.
guess it
Yeah.
falls in the middle of like good and bad of what I would watch. Um, so I have no reason not to watch it yet.
Mhm.
But yeah, man, PS5. I know I will not be live streaming when it happens, but if you want to join me later, we can do a teardown because I do want to do a teardown tomorrow night.
We could do that. I am planning on live streaming it, so I can do the live stream. And then later on, you could catch us
Yeah,
later, and then we'll do
play by
a quick
play.
recap of everything, a play by play of
Yeah,
everything, because I think a lot of people are waiting for this. Obviously, um, still no word from Microsoft, which is kind of
that's
interesting.
scary for not for Sony, but for
Yeah.
Microsoft. I mean, there's also other leaks going on right now, which we don't know which are real, which aren't. Amazon supposedly put a posting up for the PS5 with a ridiculously high price. We don't even know if that's right or not. I don't even think a price is
Right.
going to be announced, honestly. I think Sony's not touching price. They know
Hmm.
they have time. They rather build bridges first. And look,
Yeah.
if it's more than 500, they're dead in the water. If it's less than
Hmm.
500, they're now winning. Honestly, it
Yeah.
doesn't even have to be, but like even if the Series X comes out the same price,
Hmm.
it's no longer like a loss. Anything less than 500 is a win for next gen in general, but especially
Yeah.
for Sony because now they're getting a lot of benefit and other things out of it. And again, it depends what other tech they show too, because they're going to show other tech tomorrow too.
Sure, yeah, but I guess in typical E3 fashion, and this week would have been this year's
Would
E3.
have, could
That's why a
have.
lot of stuff is happening online. Um, Normally they do announce price, so I wonder if they might just do that anyway. And I wonder if maybe Microsoft might snipe them at last
Yeah.
minute and have a quick announcement like they did. When was this? During the last gen release, when that whole debacle came out during that
Oh
time. But
man.
yeah, but we'll see. Look, at the end of the day, we're gonna get some nice, hopefully,
Yeah.
some good-looking stuff to see tomorrow to check out. Hopefully, there'll be some surprises in
I
there.
mean,
I'm sure there will be.
look, if
Um,
they announce a
you know,
budget like smaller version of the series, whatever, like the Series S, I guess,
mhm,
I'd be tempted to get that one. One, because I need a Blu-ray for my living room TV, and two, it's like I don't have to make a big commitment to enjoy the games whenever I want to enjoy them. I could just
right.
make a smaller commitment, could play all my
Mhm,
360 and original Xbox games that are like piling up next to me. Maybe
yeah.
check out a few of the Xbox One exclusive stuff that I miss, which I'm trying to think what those are since I have a PC.
Um, Titanfall.
Oh, nope, that came out on PC. I actually have it on
Oh,
PC. Yeah,
right.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I
that's
don't know.
that's the tough part when you have like a master race styled PC next to you.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, I have a RTX 2060, like 32 gigs of RAM. It's like, why would I want to play the same game on an Xbox One?
mhm,
Oh
yeah. Yeah, but then again, if for those who don't
yeah,
have a
yeah.
gaming PC, it's the next
Oh
best
yeah, yeah.
thing that
No,
they
for
can
for
do,
those,
right?
look,
So,
I recommend consoles for anyone who like bar of entry is way too high for an actual gaming PC. Look, gaming
mhm.
PCs cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
If you
Oh
build
yeah.
over time, it helps mitigate the cost, but cost overall is still pretty high usually. Even if you try to
Yeah.
build at a budget, it's expensive still. You're spending
Yeah.
it like if you can pull it off at a budget, you're spending 800. That's the Xbox like One X and the PS4 Pro together. You could buy both of those, or
Yeah.
if you want, imagine you had got a Rift. That's another 400 on top of that. So you might as well just get the PS4 Pro and a PSVR, and you've saved at least $800 right there. So it's
Mhm.
like, come on.
Yeah.
So consoles are highly recommended, especially if you don't want to put in the investment for like a gaming PC, especially a gaming
Right.
laptop, because gaming laptops, in my opinion, are just way too much money anyway. Sure, you could probably get a Switch as well for the price of a gaming PC. You could get all three
You can get all the
consoles,
consoles. You can get all the
PSVR
consoles. Yeah.
for the cost of a gaming PC with potentially a Rift, which I don't think you have enough. Like the Rift is way too much at that point.
Yeah. But yeah, you could easily hands down get all three major
Yeah,
consoles for the price of a gaming PC.
exactly.
So,
So
but yeah, again, tomorrow I believe it's at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard
so
Time, so that
4
is 4
Eastern,
p.m. Eastern,
3 p.m. Central.
3 Central. Yeah. So yeah, so check it out. Like I said, I will be live streaming that, so check out the channel
Yeah.
tomorrow. And hopefully we can get some chats going on and have good conversations. Like, ooh, look at that! Oh wow, a Sly Cooper coming
Yep.
out.
And then we can have a impromptu teardown video where we just go through it. That'll be fun,
Yep,
just going through it slowly, seeing what's being announced.
that would be great. That would
Because
be great.
it's fun to have the live reactions, which is why it sucks the timing. I was like 2 hours
It's
later, two
yeah,
hours later.
I know. Yeah, but they do like to do things usually like early
Yeah,
evening, early
but they
afternoon.
usually
So
do
late
like
afternoon.
6 p.m. around E3 time. It's like, what the hell is this?
I
3
know.
p.m. Like,
I
it's
know.
like 6 p.m. Eastern time. It's just like, which is 3 p.m. for them. It's just like, what's 1 p.m.? Because it's lunchtime in the West
I don't
Coast.
know.
No one cares
I don't
about your
know.
lunchtime West Coast. Oh,
But yeah,
yeah,
we'll get to see what they have to say
yeah.
tomorrow, and then we'll have a breakdown on it, and hopefully it's a lot of good stuff. And like I say, time and time again, no trailers,
Yes.
please. We want to see actual
I
gameplay.
mean,
You could have your fluff pieces in the beginning, but show us the
I
goods.
think
Show us the
we'll
goods.
get some goods. I mean, what would really be surprising if they all of a sudden announce backwards compatibility with certain consoles. Like they don't announce all of them.
Mhm.
It's like if they say, "Hey, we want to reveal there will be this," and to prove it, it's like right now on the PS4, you can download PS1 games. It's like, all right, well, excuse me, everybody, I have to waste all my hard drive space. Let's see how
Right.
far filled we can get an 8 terabyte hard drive in a single day.
Right.
But
Oh man.
speaking about filling spaces, next
Oh.
news article is about No Man's Sky. So these developers have been knocking it out of the park since they dropped the ball on initial release, and we've talked about them off and on here and there.
Hmm.
Crossplay is now officially hitting No Man's Sky across PC, Xbox, and PS4.
That's
You can
awesome.
now play this game, which they added multiplayer maybe a year or so ago, but now you can play this game with your other friends on other systems, which means you can also see a lot of the stuff the PC community has been building because they've gotten some crazy cool tools to build some crazy planets.
Okay.
Which is exciting, just more games with crossplay. Honestly, I've been wanting to get back into No Man's Sky just because of all the
Hmm.
stuff they've added. I think
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a fresh playthrough soon. Um, just start from scratch, no
Hmm.
baggage. I don't even remember where I last left off, oh, so many years ago anyway.
Right.
But
Now, for those who may not be too familiar with the game, can you just because you've
yeah,
played it, I haven't. Like, what is the concept of the game?
so the base concept is you pretty much you're started off stranded on a planet, and the I mean the concept of the game is you're traveling through space. You're trying to get to pretty much the center of this universe. The cool part is when you start a game, planets are actually procedurally generated, which means that if you end up in a or creating a new unique route, you're ending up in a bunch of galaxies and stuff filled with planets that never existed before and only exist because they were just created because of your instance of the game. But
That's
the
awesome.
cooler part is those now live in everyone else's instances now too.
Mm.
So
Oh, that's interesting. So technically, I could start a game. You could start a game. Soundwave here in the chat could start a game, and we could be in a way creating three new
yep,
universes that now everyone will have
yes.
access.
Well, our three universes now are completely different than each other, and as we go move on, move on to other planets, we're creating other planets, other galaxies, and stuff that neither of our instances are necessarily having. There are still
Hmm.
ways to jump around and see other people's branch points and stuff like that, but
Right.
like we in essence are creating our own planetary track.
That's
So it'll
insane.
be cool to see how they find a way to merge all that different stuff from all the other like people and things like other platforms too.
Right.
So
Right.
it's definitely a cool game. It's usually always on sale. And again, they announced they have more big announcements planned for the summer. And again, I have to give credit to this team. They really turned a bad launch around and they've just run away with this game now. And gameplay wise, it reminds me of like a slower, not as like intense in terms of action and jumping, like Destiny mechanic style game when you're on the
Hmm.
ground, like shooting
Hmm.
around fighting stuff. When you're in your ship, it gives you that whole Star Fox feel. You get into space battles, you could just battle it out. But the cool part is you can actually fly and land your ship onto the planet and fly your ship into orbit and into space.
Okay.
So it's not like load screen into in, load screen out. It's like no, you're actually flying into the atmosphere and the planet is actually
Hmm.
loading as you get closer to it.
So it's just like simulating a real
Mhm.
entrance back into like
Yeah.
a planet's
Entrance
atmosphere
and
and all
exit,
that.
everything in the game is there, it's loaded. Even the animals that decides to put on the planet are procedurally decided.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, like Soundwave says, our three sets of planets now populating the same universe, and we can visit each other's
Yep.
planets if we can find them, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah, because there's a navigation
Yeah.
aspect to
But the
it too.
good part is with the additional multiplayer, we can also join our friends so we actually
Hmm.
can see each other's planets that way.
Right. Now, do you think like something like this, because this is huge news,
Yeah.
and this is a huge uptaking for any developer to
Oh yeah.
create this type of crossplay, right? And you mentioned that the botched launch kind of soured people's expectations of the game in the beginning. Do you think this will bring the game back to the forefront and maybe welcome in new people who've been wanting to try it out or who are curious or whatever the
So the
case is?
user base is actually expanded every time they do something big like this. And I think
Okay.
crossplay is one of those things that's going to probably put it over the top again. at least
Okay.
over the top and bring it back to people's minds. I
Yeah.
mean, when they introduced VR, that brought a lot of people in because people are like, wait, it's a first person shooter, but it's
Hmm.
also a space flight game with VR capability. I'm in
Hmm.
because let's be honest, we
Right.
all want to be in a spaceship flying, shooting things. That's
Yeah.
that's the
Hmm.
dream. It's not house with white picket fence. No, it's being in a spaceship, fighting things, or a Gundam.
Right.
Gundam first,
Or
spaceship
Gundam, right?
second.
Yeah, Gundam's always first. Yeah, Gundam's always
Because
first.
Gundam gives you the best of both. You still go space, but
Right.
it's Gundam.
Right. Right. No, perfect. Perfect sense.
So that's some other cool news, and I'm gonna skip around a bit. I'm gonna come back to
Okay.
the leaky ship known as like this week because that'll probably become our hot topic, and I think we could probably move our hot topic down unless you had something planned.
Okay. No, my hot topic because today was the first day. IGN had their summer of gaming, and there was some stuff that I
Ah,
wanted to
yes.
discuss real quick. But
Yeah.
yeah, whatever you want to go with first. I'm surprised you didn't include more Nintendo hacks.
Well, leak season isn't just things leaking like that. It's this. So actually, I think we can actually blend our topics together because actually,
Okay.
what you want to talk about blends in perfectly with what's in the hot topic anyway. So
Okay.
league season, I think is going to take a while anyway because it's there's a lot. But speaking about actually, which let's just go in the league season because this news counts as it too. Honestly, I just realized. So yeah, Persona 4 Golden, it leaked that it's potentially coming to the PC. That's what
Nice.
Atlas was showing up to the PC gaming show this weekend, and
Hmm.
people thought it would be Persona 5. It's actually Persona 4 Golden, which unfortunately for everyone's Vitas can now be laid to rest. But look, I love my Vita. I love Persona 4 a lot more than my Vita, and any way I can play it on anything, I will. It's one of those things where, yes, just yes, anyone can experience the game, and especially on any platform, especially one that's no longer dead.
Yeah.
I'm for. I would love if like we had a PS4 announcement as well, but beggars can't be choosers. I mean, if it doesn't come out on the PS4, I'll just get it on the PC anyway. And then I'll
Hmm.
start getting all the other Persona games if they ever release on the PC just to have them backed up because I feel safer having them backed up on Steam because I know PC never goes away. It's just your parts that change. Unlike
Sure.
consoles
Yeah.
where I still have a weird paranoia about like one day all our servers are closing forever because Nintendo proves they can do that.
Right. 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 Right.
So I don't know if you've played Persona 4 Golden, but
I have not. I've actually never played any of the Persona games. So, like, I've heard like you talk about
yeah,
them a lot. I've had other friends who play them. I've seen obviously I've seen clips of it and all that
yeah,
stuff like that. And it's always something that I was curious to jump in on. It was just timing.
yeah,
Timing just was never there for me. But I mean, it looks like a great fun
yeah.
game, and especially like hearing you talk about it and seeing you play it and
So
all
I
that.
guess the timing's actually good for you because I mean, this is actually a very good streamable game. Persona 4 Golden gets streamed all the time, not for
Hmm.
viewers, but I mean just because it's a fun game to actually stream.
Yeah.
Um, cool, like the characters are interesting. I personally recommend Persona 4 as the introductory gateway to. Let me check what he said in the chat, but
I'm sorry, Soundwave. I've disappointed. I've disappointed him big time. I'm
look, I
sorry.
understand. Look, these I blame myself because I probably scared you off. It's like, yeah, it's only 100 hours long. It's like, and
Actually, I do remember that conversation. I do remember that. Yeah, I'm like, what? I did buy it. I mean, it was on sale that one
yeah, you do have
weekend.
Persona 5, so at least you own one of them. But
Yeah,
honestly, I
yeah.
think Persona 4 is the better gateway game in my opinion. Um,
Hmm.
Golden's the longer of the versions for 4, but it's still the better definitive version.
Hmm.
I recommend it. You can stream it too, so it gives you an excuse to play it.
Right.
But honestly, it's the best intro game in the franchise in my opinion. I feel like the older games are very traditional JRPG. They're very rough around the edges in terms of
Hmm.
gameplay. In terms of character and story, they're solid, but the gameplay's rough and it's a big learning curve to get used to gameplay on those.
Okay.
Three, depending on which version of three you play, because there's like 50 different versions, they vary in terms of which is an easier on ramp. And honestly, for me, the story was okay, but the characters didn't interest me as much. I feel like
Mm,
four found a way to get the perfect balance between characters, story, and gameplay. So I'd recommend starting with four and then five. But
hmm
my recommended playing order is actually four golden, then three portable, then five. But it varies from person to person. But
Right.
I mean, this is a good opportunity. But unfortunately, as part of the season of now, leaked
There you go.
Steam,
Yeah, yeah.
Steam ratings. It's how they get you.
I feel like because of the pandemic, these leaks have been very like more and more so because I feel like there's just too many people at home. Some people not necessarily paying attention
Yeah,
to like security and all that stuff like that. And plus, when you have some dude who's like maybe he's like a
yeah,
rogue dude who'd be like, you know what, no one's gonna know I did this, and then just like leak out
yeah.
something or whatever the case is,
Well,
you
it's
know.
so
So
crazy because it's like it's been really mostly silent, but then every once in a while you get like a big leak here or there.
they're
You
huge.
know,
Yeah,
like
they're huge.
Nintendo security leaks, where
Yeah.
leads to our next bit of leaking, which we'll keep ebbing and flowing between like good leaks, bad leaks.
Good leak, bad leak, yeah. Just real quick, Soundwave, he chimed in. He
Yeah,
said his order of play is 4, 5, 3, 1, and 2.
yeah, that's a good. That's not a
So
bad order, honestly. Like
yeah.
I recommend three just because you're used to the graphics of four. It's a little easier
hmm
to deal with. Well, actually, three portable is not bad because three portable plays a little more like a graphic novel because they streamlined it for the PSP.
Okay.
But 4-5-3-1-2 is not a bad order. 4-3-5-1-2 is not a bad order either. 1-2 should
hmm
definitely be toward the back end just because they're a lot rougher. Um, the four definitely has the easiest on ramp of the bunch. I mean, it's not an easy game. You're still gonna have to like work at it, play, and learn the mechanics, but the on ramp is a lot easier. But
Right. And you don't have to necessarily like let's say I jumped into 4. I don't have to necessarily know everything that happened in 1 to 3,
no,
right?
so there is a weird, funky timeline that happens, but it's kind of like Legend of Zelda. There's a timeline,
Oh, okay.
but each game is
Gotcha.
pretty much self-contained. There's certain
hmm
things from other games that might impact or be kind of passed along, mentioned, or Easter egged in other games, but
hmm
each game and cast of characters are completely separate than the previous games, except for
Gotcha.
two and its sequel. Because two was split into two games, Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment. Yeah, that sounds about right. I had to think about it because it's weird names. But two was the only one that was split into two parts. That one you do have to
Okay.
play both parts, but they call it Persona 2 this, Persona 2 that.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
With a
Okay.
lot of these re-releases like Portable, Persona 3 Portable, Persona 4 Golden, they're not actual sequels. They're more of just definitive re-releases.
hmm
But that with like a lot of additional content, they do have sequel-ish games where like they have the Persona Q series, which it helps to know the characters from most of the other games, but you don't
hmm
need to play those games, and those take place on the 3DS exclusive.
Okay.
There's the fighting games,
Got it.
which take place in the four universe. The dancing games take place in their respective universes based on the number
hmm
game. But the story for in the side games only really moves things forward in the four side games. So like the
hmm
four fighting games actually continued the story of four, and then the four dancing game continued the story. But you can actually skip the fighting game and just go right into the dancing game and not really miss anything. So
Okay.
it's not like you're bound to play every Persona game. It's like
Right. Right.
you
Right.
can jump into five, have a good old time. Jump into four, have a good
Okay.
old time, and then you'll see little Easter eggs and crossover because they do take place in the same like timeline universe. So
Right.
three happens in the same universe and timeline as four, and four happens in the same as five. You just don't know what years and all that sort of thing.
Got it.
But
Okay.
yeah, back to
I will
leaky
heavily consider it. Yeah, leaky
leaky
leaks.
boats. Nintendo admitted that more just more people's stuff leaked than they
Yeah.
realized. I mean, I don't blame Nintendo for letting us know at this point more happen, because this is the kind of thing where once it happens, you always have to assume there's going to be more announcements that more people it happened to, because
Sure.
initial assessments are never going to catch it. It's hard. IT's hard. Soundwave can tell you IT's hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I'm just hoping that like when the first
yeah,
news broke out about that everyone did what they had to
yeah,
do and
exactly.
updated their
Two
passwords and
factor,
checked their bills and all that stuff
two
like that.
factor. Put your two factor
Yeah.
on people. That's the
Hmm.
if you're not going to change your password, at least put your two factor on.
At least put the two
Bare
factor on. That
minimum.
helps a lot. It helps a
It's the
lot.
bare minimum
Yeah.
you can do, honestly.
Yeah. Because if it wasn't for two factor, I wouldn't have realized that when I was in Japan in February, end of February, early March, my Crunchyroll account was hacked, and I got a notification immediately on my phone saying, "Hey, your login is being attempted in
Oh,
Belgium." I'm like,
s-
I'm not in
so
Belgium."
that's what happened when I tried to log in through my VPN. I kid. I have my own Crunchyroll account, as everyone should. Crunchyroll's amazing,
As everyone should, Crunchyroll is a great platform
honestly. Yeah,
for
if you
sure.
want to watch good anime, Crunchyroll. And
Yeah.
Crunchyroll, if you want us
Hmm.
to advertise you, Crunchyroll,
Yeah, we could have the banner
Crunchyroll.
right below and just
Yeah,
say
I don't mind starting a video.
Crunchyroll.
It's like today's video is sponsored by Crunchyroll.
No, yeah. Get your latest anime over at
Wanna
crunchyroll.com.
be a My Hero? Then My Hero with a Crunchyroll subscription. And if you can't, check out their shop where you could get all sorts of cool Japanese. See, man, pay us.
Yeah, we're ready. We're ready for the
Seriously.
sponsorships. Let's go. Let's go.
So let's go back over to, well, I guess this is more mixed leaks, which is all sorts of potential PS5 stuff's leaking. None of us know
Yeah,
what's true at this point. Like I mentioned before,
right.
a potential bad price leak happened. We don't even know if that's true. We don't even know if Amazon knows it's true. I think
Yeah.
Amazon is just throwing things out there as well too. I don't think Sony even knows what they're going to really release the price at until they release the price, because I wouldn't be surprised that if they put a price out, it gets backlash, they would even change it.
Hmm.
Look, end of the day, consoles lose money the first 2 to 3 years. It's just the nature of these things.
Yeah.
That's not where Sony's going to make its money. Sony's going to make its big bucks on the games it shows us from its first party
Hmm.
developers that make us go, ooh, I need that in my life. And
Right.
with them re-releasing first party titles now on PC, that's just more money coming in. If Sony gets mind share is more valuable than profits on the actual box.
Hmm.
So, but leaks are happening. I mean, I feel like I'm definitely forgetting some other leaks. Let's see. Yep, PlayStation patents hit at the UI. Yep, adding to the Sony's pre-leakage festival, which hasn't been that bad, honestly. Better than previous years. Previous years, it's like Sony's gonna announce something, and guess what? It came out 3 days before. It's just like,
Right. Right.
well, I guess I have no reason to expect anything in Sony's E3 now. Thanks, guys. But let's see. Leak. I'm definitely forgetting other leaks, and I'm pretty sure someone will remind us at some point or put it in
That's
comments
fine.
when this goes up on YouTube or something.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we covered some of the majority of like the
Yeah.
major leaks. Um, yeah, at least from the ones that I've seen, you pretty much covered all the ones that I saw too. So
Yeah. I mean, still thumbing around. I don't see anything else. I mean, let's see. Nope, just talking about patent stuff. I know Nintendo's been having its issues. Um, so I guess we can move on to our, which is now our main topic, which is the combination of both of our things, which is
hmm.
E3 week, and kind of what brought this to mind is one of the YouTubers I watch, Wolf Den. He actually made a very highly critical video on E3 and why he's like his thoughts about it just not happening this year, his thoughts about the
Hmm.
ESA, and honestly, for me it was interesting because I kind of feel the same way with the ESA.
Hmm.
And I forgot about something that happened last year that is really serious. Um, they had a security flaw in their site that they've had for decades, and anyone who actually put in for a press pass had all their personal information available publicly to the entire world.
Oh,
Yeah, I forgot about that.
oh, I was not. I don't think I was even aware of that.
Yeah. ESA pretty much had a security flaw. Like they patched it, great, but it was
Hmm.
too little too late. So everyone who went to E3 last year had all their information available for the whole wide world. And that's just the tip of the iceberg of how bad the ESA is at E3. Because another thing to bring up is why would Jeff Keighley say, "No, I'm good,"
Hmm.
and then none of the publishers wanted to actually work with them on a virtual E3? I don't know why I
Right,
did
right.
this
And they
with
all decide to do their own
virtual.
thing.
Virtual, it's like, is it not virtual? Like, what? Look, it's been a long life. So,
Yeah, ever since I've been going to, like, when I was in the game industry, and I've been going to E3. My first E3 was in '98. I think I mentioned it
yeah,
before. It was the last one that they had in Atlanta before they officially moved it to LA. Um, there were always problems. Well, I mean, the thing is, like, I was able to forge my own credentials at those times and say that I used to be press or I used to be all this stuff, and there was no checks and balances really on
yeah,
their end, right? Um, and I think it's hard. It's kind of hard for, and I think the same thing can be said about, like, comic
yeah,
conventions and all that. Like, you have the Reed company that does a lot of these conventions. You have the Wizard Worlds and all that stuff like that. They all have their issues where, um, when it comes to credentials and admittance, there's always a problem there. But when you get to a point where there's a major security flaw that is leaking people's information. So in this security flaw, what was everyone's information in, like, a directory where people could just, like, easily pull it up, or it was
yeah.
just like,
And the thing is, if you try to pull it through the site directly, you couldn't because it was gated.
Mhm.
But if you have a crawler, you can
Mm. Got it, got it, got it. So it was, so for a layman, they can't just go to the site and try to find out your
I
information.
mean, for
But
a layman, but for anyone who knows how to
yeah,
download a free script kiddie program, which is any
right,
human being, honestly, with some technical capability.
right, got it. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty nasty. That's
And it's
bad.
bad because people got harassed, messaged,
Mm,
squatted on. People were squatting at their
hmm,
houses, making death threats.
that's
So it's just
insane.
like that turned off a lot of the YouTube community because
Hmm.
they did this. They had their credentials in there, and all of a sudden, all these influencers and smaller press groups now have all
Hmm.
their personal stuff out there. It's just like it's a breach of trust, and that
Sure.
just is one of the bigger many things that ESA has just not been handling right.
Yeah.
I mean, we can even go to the fact that like should E3 have even been made open to the game like gamers themselves?
Yeah. And again, hot take here. I think that was the biggest mistake that they've
Agreed.
ever did. Biggest mistake. Again, I there was a point where I wasn't in the industry yet, and I wanted to go, and lo and behold, I was able to go. Again, like I said, forged my credentials and all that stuff like
Yeah,
that. But after working in the industry and going to that event for the purpose you're supposed to go, I can see why. I can see why, the gamers, the little tiny press people, like those who don't really have, like, a huge following and all that, having them run rampant around the convention
yeah.
floor, bothering people. I saw a guy who was running some blog, like, cut in line in a press line, to think that he can try to get, like, a scoop, or he just wanted to play the game, and, like, dude, that's not how you do it.
Yeah.
This is,
And they changed a lot of
and
things because
yeah.
of it. Like they created a fast pass where people can sign up for time blocks, which again, that's just putting a band-aid on a inferno. Like, yeah, it's not gonna
Hmm.
stop a forest fire, but hey, at least it's band-aid.
Right.
So they did that. but they had specific times and dates for the press specifically. But it's just
Mm,
like a lot of that didn't ever really alleviate all the bigger issues because they never really handled line management properly. They did nothing to make it so the press could get in and out easily, and it should have been included for the press automatically because this is a press event. Like,
yeah.
yeah, gamers play your games fine, but the reason you have E3 is to get news out there, to get information out there, and this will eventually lead to the next part of this of like if we need E3 or not. But
Hmm.
like you can't make these mistakes and expect people to happily say, let's E3 it. It's just like
Yeah. And even like people in the industry already are getting tired of E3 too.
eh,
It's like I've heard people question if they should even attend or not. And I get it. I get it. It's gotten to the point where it's, especially now with the online environment that we have now, it's so much easier to do your press online. It's easily accessible to a lot of people. If you want to still have a 2 day convention for industry only,
hmm,
for the real meetings, the real in person
yeah.
press, publishers meeting developers, all that stuff like that, then do that. But have all the other stuff done in a more virtual
Yeah.
environment. And I think we're going to start seeing that this summer. This will be the
Oh
first
yeah.
time we're going to get a full taste of that. And like I said, like IGN had their first
Yeah.
day of their Summer of Gaming event. They had it was like a 5 hour stream or
Yeah.
something like that. A lot of good interviews and releases and everything like that. I know there's a lot of other publishers holding their events this week,
Yeah.
next week, the week
Jeff
after.
Keighley
Um, yeah,
and his
the PC Expo,
Summer
they
Game
had their
Fest.
thing over the
Yeah.
weekend. Yeah.
And then Destiny, like Bungie, start pretty much kicked it off this Monday with or Tuesday,
Right.
whatever they kicked off all the Destiny 2 news. It's like
Hmm.
Sony's tomorrow. So I guess this leads to the real question: do we need E3?
I think the E3 that we know of in recent years, no, we don't need that. I think if you go back to basics and kind of like the original purpose of E3,
Mm-hmm.
make it a 2 day event. One thing that people were always complaining about, especially industry folk, that it was 4 days, or it used to be three, then they increased it to four, and then it was an event that went through a weekend, then they tried to move it up in the week and all that. It's like it's too much. It's a little too much.
So I'm gonna give a very extreme hot take. I don't think we need E3, and I'll elaborate on why. But
Yeah.
E3 is unfortunately something that didn't grow with the times. It's like Kitty City,
Hmm.
Caldors, a bunch of old people places I'm naming that no one knows the whiz.
Consumers. Fortunoff. What are they talking about?
Soon to be Macy's. What?
Oh God,
And
yeah.
Sears. What?
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
basically, it's the idea that it's just that they haven't grown, they haven't evolved, they never did better or well. Because at least if they were doing things right, people would be willing to
Hmm.
forgive them for a lot of the other things.
Hmm.
But they're not, and E3 doesn't provide value because also Nintendo, unfortunately, was really well. Microsoft was the first one to make a strike at E3. Nintendo followed up with the directs.
Hmm.
Nintendo moved out of the E3 convention center. When they did that, they saved millions of dollars because they have a theater
Yeah,
diagonally across the street.
yeah.
Why should they pay for space and all this when they can have the press like they want in a space they own to show exactly what they want to show specifically on their floor? They don't have to
Hmm.
battle with Sony or anyone else. They could give exclusive everythings they need to at their own facility.
Hmm.
Nintendo, they prove that you can just have online displays of what you're releasing and you could do some crazy stuff like day of drops. You can do actual live play videos of the some of the things you've shown. You can drop
Hmm.
demos right then or during that time period because it doesn't have to be a single day if you don't want it to be.
Hmm.
And I don't think E3 needs to exist as a physical thing anymore. It's a waste of money for developers. It's a waste of money for a lot of groups.
Hmm.
Um, I think there should be some kind of organization of when all these announcements happen. And I think
Hmm.
IGN and Jeff Keighley are working on adding that structure with the things they're doing.
Hmm.
If you can get everyone kind of like on board with like a summer games fest and spread it out even more. It's like because since you don't have people traveling, you're not exhausting people either. They don't always have to be on. Like if
Hmm.
Nintendo wants to do just a weekend full of like live streams, they can do a weekend and their employees get paid overtime, hopefully. I don't think they do. But
It is a game industry.
at least like they work the weekend, maybe give them some days off during the week after, I guess. But
Yeah.
they could do their
Hmm.
treehouse stuff where they do more elaborate things, and they don't have to do it during the whole week. So one, you don't burn out your people. Two, you don't have like nerds, unfortunately, doing nerdy, weird stuff, yelling at you things. We can't,
Hmm.
we can't help ourselves. It's what we are. But
You get excited. People get excited.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I think if they're on one banner, you can make it a two, maybe even the whole month of June. Like well, maybe not the whole month. Whole month's a little too much for everyone. We'd get over it after a while, but you could do a
Yeah.
full week or two, 9 days from Saturday to Saturday, and just release stuff, release stuff, release stuff. And like
Hmm.
everyone could do their conferences, but they could do it remotely. They could do it in a space
Hmm.
they want to do it in, and they can show what they want to show. And then to compensate for people not being able to play on a show floor,
Hmm.
this requires more work from the development side, but I think it should be done because it's worth the value. Have a demo
Yeah.
ready. So part of your E3, your game package should be your video, but demos as well.
A demo along with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to be able to show off PS5 stuff if the PS5 isn't out,
Hmm.
but you can put stuff out for the PS4, and on the PS4, maybe
Hmm.
even put out interactive like videos or stuff. Like I know Sony's done it where they've released interactive experiences and stuff like that too. So
Yeah.
my hot take is
Um,
we don't need E3. We need better than E3.
right, right. Soundwave says, make E3 a virtual event. So instead of going to 8 different sites and times and
Yeah,
such, all pubs and
exactly.
devs submit their press junkets to E3. E3 does it 2 organized days of well-timed press release videos. And yes, E3 allowing the public,
Yeah,
hot mess. Yeah, I think we're all trying to say the same thing
yeah.
here. I think
I'm just
if we have,
anti
I think this
ESA.
is a good,
That's my
yeah,
stance.
I think this is a time where the ESA needs to be reevaluated, and if they should be even the
Yeah,
ones who are organizing E3. Maybe I know they were trying to come up with a partnership with the guys over at 8-bit and all that to try to organize things more. 8-bit withdrew because they couldn't get along
yep.
with the ESA guys and all that. So even back then, we knew there were some issues
And
there,
then Jeff
right?
Keighley
Where
dropped
they can't
out.
even, and then Keeley drops out and all that. So I think this it needs to, and again, this is a perfect timing. Everyone is doing stuff remote. Every publisher has
Yeah,
decided to do their own thing. It could be a great opportunity for the ESA to reorganize the way they handle things, or maybe have someone else step in and try to do
yeah,
something. But this could also be a death blow because now the publishers themselves can realize, you know what, we don't need this because we could do it
yeah,
ourselves. And this is something that we could organize on our own, or have like an IGN
yeah.
come and show that they found a way to organize it a
Exactly.
lot better,
I
and
I
all
definitely
that.
think there needs to be a neutral third party because you don't want to piss off the press outlets if you like it to.
No, of course. And that's the problem. When you have IGN, which is the major gaming outlet out there, having them organize something like this is a little bit biased, right? Because they're going to get the majority of the
Yep.
exclusives. They're going to get first dibs on everything, and that's not going to be fair to
Yeah.
everybody else. So it would be great to see another third
Yeah.
party that's not the ESA step in and come up with some sort
Yeah.
of plan, or learn from all
That's why I
this,
think
or whatever the
someone like a
case
Jeff
is.
Keighley makes the most sense because he is the
Hmm.
most neutral-ish third party you have because he's not reporting. I mean, this time
Yeah.
around, I think he's working off and on with IGN, but
Hmm.
like most of the time he's not. This might be a good opportunity for him to leverage that and honestly get the resources needed to take this on fully because I think under
Hmm.
his hands, it's more capable of being. I lost something. That was right.
You're right there.
Yeah, I lost lost a flip flop. Look, times are hard.
You could blame the ESA on that.
Exactly. ESA, man,
They messed
they
it
sent their
up.
flip flop thieves after my.
That's right. They messed it up for you.
But
Um,
yeah,
but yeah, I think again, if something's going to change, obviously we're going to find
yeah.
out, right? We're going to find out after this summer.
Oh yeah.
We'll see what happens next year.
Well,
I still think it would be nice to have like some sort
yeah.
of in-person event, but like I said, make it a day or two, industry folk only.
Yeah.
That way you could show off your demos and all that stuff
So
like that.
another aspect I was thinking about is why not have the group that handles the GDC put
Hmm.
together the industry side of things?
Hmm.
They already are used to putting together this kind of industry get together anyway. So,
Hmm.
and they're actually going to get their first opportunity to practice a virtual one because they're going to do GDC online this summer.
Right.
Since it got pushed back and they realized they still can't do it in person, they're just going to do it online this summer. So
Hmm.
why not, like, maybe if they do it well, that it proves that they can handle meetings. So you don't have to do in-person meetings, because I don't think in-person meetings is going to be really happening for a while, but you can still have your
Sure.
industry day style of things where you have your conferences and stuff that are happening behind there. They're still meeting with press. They're like, hey, everyone go to this link right now. Great. Plug a controller into your machine. Great. You're playing the PS5 on the cloud because we
Hmm.
sent you a remote play link so you can actually try our stuff right here live.
Right.
Because you have PS, they have PS now. They have the technology that they can cloud it
Hmm.
up. Ugh, I regret saying that.
Yeah. Cloud it
You know,
up.
there's some Final Fantasy fan that's like, and I'm gonna cloud it up, all right.
We're gonna cloud it up. Cloud it up. Oh, by the way, speaking of Final Fantasy, I know a tangent. They released a new dynamic theme for Final
Yes,
Fantasy VII Remake
Tifa.
on the PSN store.
Hit that
So
PSN
check
store,
that out.
everybody.
Yeah, it's I just downloaded it. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
The fact that they have Tifa actually
kicking her legs
over the
too.
icons and kicking the legs and her hair
Wait,
is
she's
flowing,
over
I'm
the
like, what?
icons.
She's over the icons, dude. I was like, I've never seen that before. I was like, wow, that's beautiful. That's how you do a dynamic theme right there. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So definitely check that out. Grab that
Yeah,
while you
man.
can. It's
Yeah,
free.
I
Free
throw
for
that on right
everybody.
after this and grab that bad boy, cause
It's free for
exactly
everyone. So yeah, so
free goods
let's
for all.
just dive through
Uh,
some of the fast things that I noticed from the summer of gaming
Yeah,
today. Like I didn't watch the whole thing. I just caught a lot of the trailers
yeah.
and
Give us that
gameplays
hot
and all that
take.
stuff like that. So it seems like every 10 years we always hear about Werewolf the Apocalypse coming back again. And the reason why I like to bring this up is because back in my ASC days, we worked with a publisher called Dreamforge Entertainment. And Dreamforge Entertainment had the Werewolf the Apocalypse license, and they were working on a Werewolf the Apocalypse PC game until they went under and it never went anywhere. So, but I would remember playing it, playing the demos and all that stuff when I was at ASC. But yeah, they announced Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood is planning to come out. So they had a nice, beautiful trailer. No gameplay footage. So again,
Yeah.
that's my main problem there. But for you Werewolf the Apocalypse fans, it was a very popular RPG, still is. Great book series from what I
Yeah.
heard. So something to look forward to there. And also, just side note, Dreamforge Entertainment, they developed TNN Outdoors Pro Hunter. So
Oh, oh,
that's so that's
great
another.
segue for another thing I want to mention from that, because like I'll let you announce the rest of these, but Big Buck Hunter Arcade 1-Up Arcade.
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
actually just want that one now, just out of principle, because it's so ridiculous.
Yep, and that actually segues into my next thing is Arcade One Up had a lot of announcements today, and I've been a huge fan of Arcade One Up ever since they came out with their Rampage cabinets and all that, and they stepped it up and did the Star Wars arcade cabinet, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle 4-player cabinet, and they just been releasing cabinets after cabinet after cabinet. So now they announced not only Big Buck Hunter, but they also announced a Miss Pac-Man cabinet, kind of coinciding with the 40th anniversary of Pac-Man. An X-Men versus Street Fighter cabinet. They also have a separate X-Men Children of the Atom cabinet. A lot of big fighting cabinets coming out there, so definitely check out their website. They have a lot of that stuff up there for you to check out, and it's beautiful. These cabinets are gorgeous the way they look and everything like that.
Nice.
Um, and then one thing that actually I thought was fun and very nostalgic, Alex Kidd is back. Alex
Yeah.
Kidd in Miracle World DX is coming out next year. So
Oh wait, not
that
not
is
not. Oh, not that DX.
yeah, it's not this year
Oh, I
unfortunately,
thought you
but it
meant it
is
was
going to be
this
next year.
DX.
Oh, DX. No, not that DX. No. Dun, 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 dun. Where's X-Pac? You see X-Pac in the corner with his tongue out and everything.
I have no more
Um,
water, so otherwise I would have.
yeah. Yeah, and then all of a sudden your computer breaks down and
It's like,
everything.
and we've now lost Paul Program, so
Yeah, and Paul is gone, and I think his new Radeon card is messed up.
Radeon, how
But
dare
yes,
you? This is an
sorry.
NVIDIA RTX.
I said that only to see what you're gonna say. So, but yeah, Alex Kidd. It looks cute. It looks great. They will offer not only the new mode, but they also did the whole classic mode, so you can switch back and forth.
Yeah.
So that looks great.
Ooh, Mortal
Then
Shell looks
they have
interesting.
the new Yakuza Like a
Like
Dragon
a
title. They
dragon.
showed Like a Dragon, and that looks like a lot of fun if you're a big Yakuza fan. um, Demon Turf, which is a new game from the creators of Slime Son,
Ooh,
which
that's
is
a
something you and
great
I checked out at Playcraft
Play
a couple
NYC.
years
Play
ago.
NYC, yeah.
Play NYC, sorry.
I
But
actually
yeah,
learned how to do sprite artwork from the artist of Slime Son.
oh, nice, very
Yeah,
nice. Yeah, so yeah, check out the trailer for Demon
yeah.
Turf. That's a
Oh,
new title that they're
I have the
coming
whole
out
page
with.
open and I'm looking at Mortal Shell. This actually sounds kind of on my
Yes,
thing of dark fantasy
yes.
RPG.
Yeah, so that's also on my list. Mortal Shell looks like it leaped off of the pages of Heavy Metal magazine. Definitely has a lot of that medieval kind of fantasy RPG elements in there. Definitely, I think that's definitely a game that's up your alley. It looks beautiful
Yeah.
too. The character designs and all that. They had a game called GTFO.
Yeah.
For me, it was more like WTF. I really couldn't understand what I was
Yeah.
looking at. There was too many blood splatters on the
You know what
screen
I
that I
can't
couldn't
understand
really
what I'm
see a lot
looking
of
at?
stuff.
I didn't know Like a Dragon was a turn-based JRPG.
Yes, yes, that is true. That is very, very true. Yeah.
All right.
That's why when I saw it, I had you in my mind immediately,
I've not,
because that is
yeah,
a game
I've
for
not
you.
actually played the Yakuza series. I wanted to, but it's like
Neither have
once they've
I.
gotten to
Yeah.
like 3, 4, 5, and 6, I was just
Yeah.
like, I can't. This,
Yeah.
however, would be a nice fun side adventure. That's the whole reason I picked up Judgment, because
Mm-hmm.
Judgment takes place in the Yakuza world, but there's not as much interaction with the characters. There's like some
Right.
overlap here and there, but it's not much. But this one,
Yeah.
like, this would probably be the first Yakuza game that I strongly consider getting, because a JRPG Yakuza game with turn-based combat, it makes
Yeah.
it's this is just Japan at its finest.
Oh yeah, yeah, and this is like this also screamed out to me because I've seen the Yakuza games like gameplay and all that.
Yeah.
This definitely takes a leap away from there, and does add a lot of those JRPG elements to it. So that actually attracted me to it, and that might be like you,
Yeah.
my first foray into the Yakuza world. So
Nice.
something definitely to check out. And the only other one that kind of stood out to me was Observer System Redo.
Mm,
That is kind of cyberpunkish Blade Runner type of action adventure game,
nice.
where you play as a detective in this cyberpunk
Oh, they call
world,
it horror
and you
like.
have the ability. Yeah, it's kind of like horrorish. I think he has the ability to go into people's minds to kind of see what they last saw or all that stuff like that. So I just like the look and feel of the
Cool.
game. It looks very futuristic, cyberpunk
Yeah.
like. So that seems to be what's in
Yeah.
now, especially with Cyberpunk 2077 coming out.
And
So
then this one looks interesting to me that may actually be all up Soundwave's alley is Pathfinder Kingmaker is coming to consoles. Didn't even know this game
Oh,
was
okay,
out,
yeah.
but it supposedly plays a lot like Baldur's Gate and old school Fallout, which again, since he's very
Nice.
into like Diablo 3, this
Hmm.
oh, and when it comes out in August. Wow, that's soon, and it comes out with all 6 DLC packs. But it's also
Oh,
based
wow, that
on
is
the tabletop role playing game Pathfinder,
right, right.
which is a game that spun out of the old rule set of like D&D. So I might
Right,
want to
right.
check that out just because I'm curious of how it plays gameplay wise. If it actually
Hmm.
plays like a tabletop game in like single player form, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So yeah, like outside of like the ones I mentioned, I don't know if there's anything else worth mentioning. I mean, it's a lot of third party stuff.
yeah, yeah.
So
I mean, well,
yeah.
IGN doesn't make. Well, actually, that's not true. They bought Humble Bundle, which now has a publishing arm.
I know, right?
It's a very long leap to get to the fact that IGN actually is a publisher, which technically means Ziff Davis is now a game publisher, which
Is now a
which
game publisher by
confuses my
I know.
soul. Honestly, it's just like
I know.
what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
what?
know. And the reason why we bring up Ziff Davis is because we are former Ziff
Yeah,
Davis
yeah.
employees from back in the
Yeah,
day.
IGN's
Yeah.
owned by Ziff Davis. It was interesting then.
Yeah, we were there when it happened.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm definitely excited about this. I think this is a cool idea. Again, I'm definitely super excited for the PC show this weekend because
Hmm.
already supposedly leaked big news has been leaked, but I'm curious what else they have with them.
Yeah.
Like, is Persona 4 the first of several Persona games coming to the PC? What else is coming out on the PC now that I have a rig that can handle 90% of things? Look, there's like this small smidgen of things called Crisis 1 that my PC can't handle.
Ooh.
No machine can really handle Crisis 1.
Ooh. Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
this
yeah,
one in
yeah.
theory should be able to, but I'm not willing to take that chance.
Give it a shot. Try it.
It's like,
Do
guys, it
it and
got 10 frames a second. 10 frames a
yeah,
second, it's doing it.
do it and try to stream it. Let's see what happens.
I'm streaming Crisis at 2 frames a second, everyone.
It's like get.
It's like
Oh man. If you thought the Destiny PC stream was bad, oh, I could
Oh
only
man, I
imagine this
abandoned ship
one.
on that one real fast too. Once I looked down in the frames, like, oh man, this looks great. And then I looked at the frames and stopping this immediately because you guys don't see what I see. Do
Oh
you?
man. You're blind, baby. You're blind to the fact.
Do you see what I see? And it's like, no, I only see a frame a second. It's like, okay, I'm gonna stop then.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, tomorrow big day for PlayStation, and I believe they're also having another Summer of Gaming event tomorrow too, I think, right? I believe it's this whole week or no?
I think so. I think they're doing to make up for the fact E3 is gone. So from today until
Right.
the end of the weekend. But yeah, that'll be some interesting stuff. Definitely have to check that out. I'll probably just throw it on in the background while I'm working on some things, working on lots of things.
Yeah.
I just keep forgetting to do
Listen to
that
it.
because it's just like I should put something as like some background noise, but then it's just like, yeah, but then I got meetings and stuff, which makes it difficult. So we'll see. I always like to
Yeah.
have background noise
Yeah.
on anyway. It helps me focus, knowing that people were making noise.
Right.
You know, like a real office.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I remember those.
Except that I don't have to deal with the issue of people walking up to me and bothering me. That's the
Yeah,
good part.
that is definitely one thing I do not miss one bit.
It's okay. Notice you're
Especially
doing lots of work there, so I'm gonna need you to pay attention to me for a couple of hours. It's like,
yeah.
oh,
You got a quick 2 minutes for a meeting, right? Oh
and
yeah.
by 2 minutes I
You got
mean your
last
whole afternoon.
right,
Oh,
exactly.
cool,
Yeah.
cool, 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 cool,
Oh.
cool, cool.
Soundwave said his bet is that Crisis beating your masterpiece.
Yeah, that's my bet too. Honestly,
I think you're winning that bet.
I don't
I don't
think you're
think
gonna
you have
have
any
anyone
takes.
who's gonna go against that bet. That bet is pretty much like a sure deal.
Yeah. Yeah, not even Vegas is touching that.
No, Vegas
So,
is like,
yeah.
no, there's no one wins on the PC side. There'll be that one dude who's like, I'm
Yeah.
still gonna risk it.
I know, right? Yeah. That one dude sitting there by the slot machine with no mask on. Or, oh my God, I have to tell you this: the
Go for it.
funniest footage I saw like a couple of days ago, because as maybe some of you know or not, Vegas is fully open. They fully reopened, run amok, however you want to do it. It's Vegas, right?
Oh, what happens in
Um,
Vegas, unfortunately, this time doesn't stay in Vegas.
will not stay in Vegas. But there was this one guy who was following the rules, had his mask on, sitting by the slot machine, but he was so hell bent on still smoking that cigarette that he had the cigarette from the side of his mask sticking out, smoking it that way. Now that is someone who doesn't quit. That should tell you never
Never
quit.
be a quitter.
Never be a quitter.
Never be a quitter. You can do it as long as you
Yeah,
believe. I mean, if it's not that thick of a mass, technically he'd just be getting double filtration if he just right there.
I guess. Yeah, if he did it straight on, but he was doing it from the side, so it was still sticking in his
Yeah, I
mouth,
mean,
just
well,
holding
actually,
it
that
on the
makes
side.
yeah,
Yeah,
because you just got.
so
I
yeah.
mean, there's a
But
lot of hoops being jumped there just to get that swig. So good for him.
hey, man,
Look, you
no,
got to do
again,
you.
if you have any kind of hurdle or challenges in your way, there's always a way around it, and this guy
Just
proved
got
it
to
for you.
believe in
So
yourself. We can do
just gotta
anything as
believe
long
it.
as we believe in each other and ourselves.
Damn straight. That is right. And on that note, that's the show. So, Paul, you got any plugs for us?
Yes, I have a few which I listed. So I actually just dropped yesterday a video on just form change mechanics in games. I go over Devil May Cry, Pac-Man, Final Fantasy Tactics, how the mechanics are
Hmm.
built around that for form changing, and then walk people through Unity and show them how you can actually build form game mechanics into like your own game. Make that code available on
Nice.
GitHub. So
Hmm.
I also last week's episode of Nerdz2Men went live today on YouTube.
Oh, cool.
So
Nice.
double dropping, and
Double dose of
you can get
us.
all that goodness on paulprograms.games. Tomorrow, actually, the RPG Maker portion of my live stream drops.
Nice.
And then I'm working on a plan for this weekend's video, but with tomorrow potentially being like a live breakdown of this PlayStation like live PS5 reveal.
Hmm?
That'll probably be the big content drop for the rest of the week, and then next Monday will probably be a slower day because I try to do Monday drops, but if I'm doing all this content in a single week, I'm gonna give people some time to watch it. It's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a lot, but hey, content is content.
Exactly.
Always good to have content
And
out
have an
there.
unboxing plan soon. I have a few unboxings planned soon because I have a few cool like game and game related things that I want to unbox and show off. So
Nice.
that's all I have on
Cool.
my plate. Besides the fact that I'll be on Friday at
Oh
a
yeah, that's
time
right. What time are you going on again?
10 Eastern, 9 Central. As I
I like how you had to really be like thinking about it. 10 Eastern, 9 Central.
well,
Okay.
there's a revamp of my schedule coming soon too. So I'm a
Yeah,
revamp.
actually, yeah, I'm thinking of the same way too, because now that a lot of people are slowly starting to go back to
Yeah,
work and all that stuff like that, maybe my afternoon streams don't make that much sense anymore.
yeah,
So we'll see. I haven't really thought of it
yeah.
yet, but
Maybe do some like I'm thinking of potentially maybe a Saturday morning thing, maybe
hmm,
switching off Friday to Thursday nights. I don't know. I'm still
yeah,
playing around with some ideas. Tuesday might get dropped altogether,
hmm,
just because if I'm going to be doing a lot of impromptu stuff and potentially if I do stream or record any D&D content, like
yeah,
that's just that. And then the hope is to supplement with more YouTube content as well. Anyway,
yeah,
so who knows?
yeah. Cool. As for myself, like I mentioned earlier in the show, I will be live streaming the PS5 conference tomorrow, so
Lucky.
do check me out on this channel. But then I will join Paul later, and we'll do our little breakdown there.
Break it down.
We're gonna break
Dun,
it
dun, dun,
down.
dun, dun.
Dun, 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 go back to DX, Alex Kidd. Um,
Alex Kidd. Dun, 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 dun.
and then on Friday, I will be back with the Low Key Geek Live podcast at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then later on that night at 8, let's make it 9 p.m. 9 p.m., I will be back with my Flashback Friday series on Twitch, going back to Brutal Legend, since I
Nice.
had a lot of fun playing that last time. Also, I have a lot of like videos and content I'm working on my end too. Some reviews of things I've watched recently. The new um, Jedi Challenge, I think it's called, the kids game show,
Oh.
where kids can be a
I'm
Jedi.
like,
Um, yeah.
oh.
I think the first 2 episodes came out on YouTube today, so I will be watching that and giving
Nice.
my takes on that. And then let's see what else. I just got a lot of stuff to talk about really, but all that stuff will be on my YouTube channel outside of my live stream. So do check out my YouTube channel because a lot more goodness to come. Hey Squid, that's my boy right there,
Yay.
my Battlefront 2 partner. So thanks for checking it out,
Thought I
man.
was your Battlefront 2 partner.
Well, since you're working now, you can't join me.
I can for 10
Oh, but we
10
still.
minutes before I fall asleep mid-ship flight.
I know, right? But we still gotta play Predator. I know, right? We gotta play Predator because I know you have it now, so we
Yes.
definitely gotta play that. And
Ooh.
like I told you, I downloaded Valorant, so
Yes.
we should definitely try
I
that out.
downloaded the client downloader.
Nice.
One more step to go,
Nice.
and I've downloaded Valorant too. But unfortunately, my step is the longest and most big bird steps.
Nice. Nice. Oh man. But yeah, but check me out again on YouTube at LOWKEY Geek, and then here on Twitch I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for now until I decide a new schedule, but those are still going to be my days. But if you have nothing else to say on your end, that pretty much is the show. So until next time, make sure you guys stay cool, stay classy, stay safe, be kind to one another, wash your hands, wear that mask, and let's just make this rest of the week memorable as much as you can.
Right.
And seriously, be safe out there, guys. I know there's a lot of stuff happening, but be
The
good.
words of Bash Stampede: love and peace.
Love and peace. And with that, peace, we out. Thanks, guys.